When it comes to growing food in a garden, it's pretty common practice for people to buy seedlings and just plant them up. And that's fine for some varieties. But for others, it's a better option to direct sow seed straight into your patch for better results. Sowing seeds directly means you don't have to worry about transplant shock when seedlings come out of a punnet and into the ground. But some seeds should always be directly sown, and it has a lot to do with achieving good root establishment into the soil and allowing the plant to properly form. Let's take carrots for example. The amount of times that I've been asked, Josh, why are my carrots stunted and deformed? Well, more than likely it's because the plants have been planted out as seedlings, and when they're put into the ground, the small root gets deformed and the plants get out of shape. But when you plant them from seed, as small as they are like this, it means they get a much smoother start. And the same idea applies to things like radish, beetroot and parsnip. Big seeds, like these peas, are also better to direct sow. They've got plenty of stored energy inside them and they pop up nice and fast. And that means that they're less likely to have transplant shock, going from seedlings into the ground, and also it's a much cheaper way to grow. The same idea here applies for all of these beans and peas and also the cucurbits, like cucumbers, rock melons and watermelons. When it comes to getting the seeds into the ground, it all starts with a well-prepared bed. I've pulled out the old plant roots, removed stones, and worked in a bit of fine compost and organic fertiliser. The general rule of thumb when growing from seed is to plant them around twice the depth of the size of the seed, which as you can imagine for carrots is not very deep at all. So what I like to do is to sprinkle the seed just on the surface of the furrow and then very lightly top dress that with seed raising mix. And I'll do the same thing for the beetroot. The surface of sandy soil can quickly become non-wetting, meaning the seeds can easily dry out. The seed raising mix holds its moisture and helps the seeds to germinate. I find using seed raising mix on top like this greatly improves the uniformity of germination. Of course, I hold off on mulching for now until the plants are up and out of the ground and well established so they don't get smothered. When it comes time to planting larger seeds, like these snow peas here, I'm happy to plant them into a pre-mulched bed, like I've got here. All I do is pull back the mulch a bit to make a bit of a clearance. The soil's already been prepared with plenty of compost and just a little bit of organic fertiliser to give the snow peas a bit of a kick along. And I just open up a planting line just like this. I'm planting the snow peas about 5 centimetres apart in a staggered line and to the depth of my first knuckle, and then gently covering with soil. With the seeds in the ground, a light watering with the soft nozzle will get germination underway. Protecting your seeds once they're in the ground is very important. Firstly, from birds, they can come in and raid the seed, but also from cats who might be tempted to come in and do their business in that nice soft soil you've prepared. So to protect them, I like to cover them in a piece of wire like this, and I've made a little bit of a tunnel. Then I'll just place it over the row like that, and then pin it in place so it's nice and secure. I direct sowed these rows about 2 weeks ago, and I've taken the mesh off so you can have a proper look at what's going on. Here we've got beetroot, carrots and radish, and they're coming along beautifully, and it's a good time to have a look at thinning. And all that means is taking out the weaker seedling so there's room for the stronger ones to grow. Now beetroot is an interesting one. They're what's known as an aggregate seed. So in fact there's 3 to 4 seeds in the one seed that you plant. So no matter how careful you are with spacing them out, you'll always need to come through and thin. Now carrots, of course, because the seeds are so small, it's almost impossible to space those properly. You'll always get this kind of bushy germination, so thinning is important. Now I do a light thin to start with, and that's because if you do a full thin now, the plants are only small. There's still a chance that some might fail. They might be eaten by an insect, which means you'll get crop failure. So a light thin now, and then another thin in about 4 to 6 weeks. Well, the radish, they grow so fast, I won't bother thinning them because I'll be eating these in 3 to 4 weeks. Once the seedlings are up and running like this, I like to give them a very light liquid feed using a spray bottle, just to make sure they have the nutrients they need to develop into strong plants. Again, this is very important in sandy soil, which does not hold onto nutrients well. I'll do this every couple of weeks until the plants are properly established and can source their nutrients from deeper in the soil. So there's a few reasons why growing from seed for certain veggie crops is a better way to go. You can avoid stunted, wonky carrots and other root crops and grow stronger, more vigorous legumes. So next time you're thinking about wanting to grow these varieties, why not try direct sowing straight into your patch?